Alright, Fishing Blues, Taj Mahal. This is as much of a hit as there is in straight blues. Like it was, kind of the hit song. So I'm told. And we've got 3 whole pages of it and 3 sections. We've got the intro, the first verse, and then we skip back to the solo. The second verse is, they're all the same structurally. Cool, so D chords, this is the first thing we did when you started your lesson today, is we kind of wanted, so first of all, D7, just on its own, you know D7 as D7, you walked into a room, you met someone, their name's John, you remembered their name's John, this is D7, it's that straightforward. Cool, and all the other ones are kind of secondary, but D6 is, my ring finger has picked up, and we're putting B in, so that's the kind of one, the first string ones, we're really not thinking about that, but yeah, so D6, D7, and D major 7, or if we look at what's happening, we've got our whole, and there's the D6, there's D7, and D major 7, cool, so D6 to D, D plus 2 to D, and then we do our first, later you're going to need to use this. Here you're going to use your 3-finger one because we need the first string, and it's the only time in the song that we do, I guess. So, section right there was, yeah, so. Cool. And then there's the easy part. So far we've gone. And now we do this as a section. Because this is kind of, you can skip to here a little bit if you wanted to. We've got our first E, and I guess kind of this is the way, definitely the most common way to play E and drop D is just leaving out the 5th string. Kind of like when we're playing G in first position, we do stuff where we leave out the 5th string to free up our index finger, and we're used to doing that. So anyway, there we go. One more strummed, and we're not strumming. Cool. So. And then we have our first, and the timing is on us, 1, 2. So that was. So, section, we just went, page. I wrote D6 down here at the bottom, and I guess I'll write D7 there too, just so it's all in one area. 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 0. Cool. Good times. I don't know where I wrote this. The zeros there. So page 2, we get into going. It's like the section where we go through 4 different chords. We go D, D7, G, and then we go back to D. And then for G, there's any number of different things we can do. You can put B in, you can put D in, for one that you sort of naturally see, you can put B in here too. But he just goes like that in that song. So we were. Section. And it goes back to something we did earlier, just swung. And then there's the second verse, around 2 minutes of section, 446, 447 on your audio, just right like 450 or so we got to there. And so we skipped ahead to the solo. If you wanted to mess around with trying to your training you part of the second verse, that's cool, but it's like literally the same chords. So more beneficial to us to take a look at what he does during the solo. And of course, you can always do this stuff. You can start going, this phrasing is harder than everything else he does. So we've got, and I do it without bass notes first. And it's cool if it's kind of dying out, his does, but if I wanted to play this precisely, which I'm not trying to, I guess I could. Yeah, so it's just a half step bend. There's kind of two kinds we do. There's, so, I mean, people play this phrasing at the 5th fret too. So, all doable. And that's weird, but anyway, so. And the very last one, we have an open string at the end, so we can get back to A. Anyway, so there we go. So it was. And then we're going. We put bass notes on 1 and 4. He goes, and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1. So there we go. There's bass notes with those, but there's just try it for fun. I'm gonna try it again. Yeah, cool. And then he does stuff straight out of what we've already done. And then we get a different E to A than before. Here we got that conversation we had today. It's kind of, slides. Sounds like 2 notes. Just ornamenting that by sliding into it. Bend, 1 single note. With hammer-ons, it'll always kind of sound like slurred 2 notes, but here we need to go, it's not, yeah, so. Riff, so there we are, we're going, excuse me, and then we're going to go, yeah, kind of ragtimey, make that, okay. Great. So whole solo could try for fun. We're at 8 minutes and 40 here. So I will just for the hell of it.